Yo, coming to you live on location. Me and D Miles are staying our ass at home, safe here in Orlando, Florida, in quarantine. We got something special for y'all today, man. This is something OG, something legendary, coming hard at you for the fofo. This is the Detroit legend, the Syracuse king, and NBA royalty right here. Our big bro DC, Derrick Coleman in the building. He coming to us live on location from his backyard in Detroit, y'all. He's still holding it down in the D. OG, what's happening? We appreciate you, bro.
Good, man. One love, baby. Shit, appreciate you guys, man. I'm a fan myself. You know what I'm saying? Took y'all long enough to invite me.
Oh man. You know. We was on the way. We pulling up. We on the way.
Yes, sir.
You shorty. You know what I'm saying? I'm sitting back. I see my man Tim Thomas. You know, I seen Zeke. You know, I see Shaq. I'm like, okay, well, maybe they making their rounds to the Midwest. You know, you jumping East Coast, West Coast, down South. You know, we right in the middle.
You knew he was coming for the OG at some point. You knew he had to come get you.
Oh man, it's all love, man. I'm a fan, bro. Like I said, man, love you guys. Love what you're doing. And love that you guys are controlling the narrative, man, behind your own show. That's what it's about, man. That's power.
We appreciate it, man.
Tune in.
Yes, sir.
First of all, it's an honor and a pleasure to even have you come on our show, man. We've been big fans for a long, long time.
Ain't nothing, man. I'm a telephone call away, bro. Come on.
That's what's up.
Brought to you by AT&T 5G.
First question we ask everybody is, who was the first person to bust your ass when you got to the league?
Oh, shit. That's a tough one. First person. I don't know, D, because, you know, I'm a motherfucker at that 4 position, man.
I know you were. I know you were. You ready to compete every night. I know you were.
I can't think of nobody that really I'm like, man, that motherfucker fucked me up, you know?
Yeah. Hey, it be like that. Well, when did you get somebody where the competition where you felt like, hey, like he can go just as well as I can go?
Yeah. Well, you know, when I think about that part of it, you know, I grew up in an era where you had guys like Charles Barkley, you know, Larry Johnson, Sean Kemp. Yeah, you know, Oak was over in New York, and then a lot of people don't talk about they don't talk about Cleveland back then, man. You had Brad Daugherty,
Larry
Hot Rod Williams.
Hot Rod Williams. Yeah. So, you know, we used to play them all the time, man. They ran that flex offense, bro. Oh my God.
Yeah.
Price, Mark Price coming off that.
Elo.
Yeah. They don't talk about him. Cold, man.
Yeah,
Cold.
Mark Price was the bug. I like Mark Price.
He's the realest, man. So, no, you know, that era and growing up, man, every night it was a battle, you know what I'm saying, for me. And, you know, being in Jersey at the time, I can't remember even last time they even went to the playoffs, you know.
Yeah.
So it was a struggle. It was exciting, though, you know what I'm saying, because when you finally achieve, you know, your dreams, man. So I would say every night, you know, somebody was giving me something.
They was coming. I
was coming right back at them, though.
One of my friends, I used to work out at Tim Grover's, and one of the guys up there was from Mobile, Alabama. And he asked me, and we got real cool, and he was like, man, I'm about to go back home. And I was like, man, I'm finna go to Miami, boo. I'm gonna swing through Mobile when I come back. And he was like, for real? So I wind up coming through Mobile and went to Mobile, Alabama, came in on a little small plane. We barbecued every day. We stayed at a little hotel, little hotel in town.
Yeah.
Like, and the family environment, you know, people just getting outside, man. You missed that. And when I went to Mobile, but you was born in Mobile, Alabama, then you moved to Detroit. Tell us about that.
A lot of people don't know that, man. When I tell them that story,
I didn't know that.
Yeah, they're amazed by it. They're like, huh? So, you know, again, we all migrated to the north for jobs. You know, my family, a lot of family of mine here in Detroit and in Chicago.
That's how my pops did.
My mom came here, you know what I'm saying? My mom came here to work, and my grandmother raised me. So I would come to Detroit every summer, even when I was a little kid. I come and spend my summers in Detroit. Then, you know, my grandma would be like, hey, send my baby back home, you know what I'm saying, for school. Until I got like 13. I moved to Detroit. And the crazy part about it, fellas, is that I never played organized basketball, man. I grew up playing baseball and football my whole life, my whole childhood. I didn't play organized basketball until I got to Detroit and joined the PAL League team. Well, I mean, Tom, when I'm saying organized, I'm talking about with coaches, with referees, stuff like that. Yeah. But no, man, I love Mobile. I try to go as much as possible because I still have a lot of family, you know, there, man. And again, that Southern hospitality, man, you know.
Yeah. And you, Northern High School. Tell us about your time at Northern High School.
Well, you know, my high school is crazy because Smokey Robinson, you know, went to my high school. You know, I actually grew up. I'm probably about 6 blocks. My neighborhood is actually 12th Street in Hazelwood. So 2 blocks to the north is actually where the riots started in '67.
Okay.
You know, and going back south, Motown is like 5 or 7 blocks from my house. You know what I'm saying? So Smokey Robinson,
right there.
Yeah, right there. Smokey Robinson. Yeah,
hey, let me ask you this then. Let me ask you, was it really like singing groups like on the corner?
Yeah.
Like
man.
with that duet, like just hitting it.
And they still there though, because you gotta understand this too, D. Again, we all migrated from the South.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So that soul is in us regardless.
Yeah.
It's just Barry Gordy had this vision, man, and saw all this talent, like, hey, I need to start putting these groups together, you know?
Yeah.
Like I grew up seeing like Melvin Franklin lived next door to one of my cousins. So every time the Temptations would come in town, bro, it'd be like 8 Cadillacs at his mom's house. You know what I'm saying? I'm a little kid, like
that's crazy.
Yeah.
And so when I worked for the Pistons, I worked for the Pistons for 4 years. And me and my family moved there, you know, that was a big deal. We went to see the Motown, the house, and the, you know, everything where, and it's like, so I done been in your neighborhood before. That's crazy, man.
So Smokey, Aretha Franklin, Betty Shabazz went to my high school. You know, Ron Banks from the Dramatics. You know what I'm saying? Went to my high school. So, you know, my high school, I mean, typical urban inner city high school. What we go through, you know, I was just blessed. I had a lot of cousins. You know what I'm saying? I come from a big family. You know, my mother and them, it's 12 of them. My grandmother and them, it was 18 of them.
Yeah.
You know? So I come from this huge family, man. So when I was in school, you know, it was just like, hey, man, don't fuck with him because he got to try with it.
We got our own game.
Yeah, exactly.
With the basketball, like where did you feel like you was one of the best in the nation, like in high school? Like what year did you feel like, man, I'm running this from now on?
Again, for me, you know, everybody always say they have a chip. I still carry a brick on my shoulder, bro.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? I love when people tell me or doubt me that I can't do something because that's just motivation for me. I would say, like my sophomore year, I went to Rensselaer, Indiana for the Nike ABCD camp.
Yeah.
And, you know, nobody knows who I am. You know what I'm saying? T. Mills is there, Anthony Pendleton, you know, all these guys, Nick Anderson. I mean, all these guys at these camps. So I'm like,
yeah,
hey, man, you lace your shoes up just like I do.
Right.
Straight up.
You know?
Bleed like I bleed.
Hey, I started going at them, you know, then you know, the scouts that was there was like, well, look, man, who is this kid?
Right.
You know? Yeah. So I've always had that chip on my shoulder, man, that cement block, you know?
He just showed how throwback it was because he said the ABCD camp was Nike. Now, you know, when we came up, ABCD was strictly Adidas. It was only Adidas. Like, it was a strict, very strict difference. Nike All-American camp and Adidas ABCD camp. So it's like you showing that he was,
man.
you know what I'm saying, some years before us when it was different.
It was so crazy because, again, like I didn't know a lot of the kids, you know, here from Detroit, man. And I actually got left, like at camp. So my uncle dropped me off, right? So camp, you know, the whole week, whatever, we balling, having fun. It's time to go, bro. I'm like, okay, where my uncle at?
Where my uncle at? You know? He didn't come back and get you. Y'all can have
ain't no cell phones, none of that back then,
oh, no,
right?
That pay phone.
Bruh, thank you. I'm
that
on
collect call.
I I'm like, well, Uncle Robert. He's like, oh shit, baby, he forgot about you. but think of, again, bro, we got away from family, right? So I'm standing there and I'm seeing guys going back to Detroit, but I don't really know them. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, I'm talking about Doug Smith, all these cats that are from here. Lee Coward, Nate Budden, all these guys are from here, but I don't really know them like that because I'm in the 10th grade. And it was a guy on my team lived in like Fort Wayne, Indiana. He was like, D-Man, what's up? I said, man, my uncle ain't came and got me yet. He was like, man, come on, ride with us. So I got in the car with them, bro, went to his house in Fort Wayne, Indiana, man. When I got to his house, I called home again, and my uncle got their address, man, and he came and got me.
Oh, that's dope.
Yeah, I wish I could find that cat to this day, I swear, man, because I never had a chance to just thank him. You know what I'm saying?
Oh, he gonna hear this. So he gonna hear this. He gonna get in touch. He gonna hear this one.
Hey, so you decided to go to Syracuse University. Now I played for Coach Boeheim on the what was it, 98? In 98 for the Olympic team, the junior team.
Yeah, right.
Did you know that he was like that before you went there? Because he recruited me to college too. He recruited me and everything, and I decided to go depart. I'm looking at him like he the nicest cool dude. I had no clue when we got in practice that he was he was going ham on whoever. I was like, yo, Coach Boeheim, crazy.
Crazy, man. Crazy. I didn't. And people ask me that, like, man, how you choose Syracuse over all the schools, you you could have went to. But see, Dave Bean has been my mentor since I've been 12, 13 years old when I moved to Detroit. So Dave Bean, Hall of Famer, businessman, mayor here in the city of Detroit. But him and Coach Boeheim were roommates in college at Syracuse.
Okay.
So Coach, in the summertime, they would send me to Syracuse for 2 weeks. Like, yo, I'm gonna get you out of the city. So me and some of my teammates would go, some other guys, we would go and spend 2 weeks of basketball camp in Syracuse. So it was just like a natural, fit for me. But come on, man, I got 35,000 every night. Where you gonna find that at?
Man, crazy.
Yeah.
Man.
Yeah.
So do you know anything deep about the history of Syracuse before you got there? Like players before you and like that?
I mean players, yeah. I mean, and again, I was running home at 12 o'clock to see Pearl Washington, man.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? I mean, think about that. That's when the Big East was the Big East.
Yeah.
Straight up.
So they were coming on CBS every, Saturday, man. I'm like, yo, I got to go watch Pearl do his thing,
Word.
And actually went up there and during the camp, they would all be around. So I got a chance to meet, talk with them cats, man. But it's something different about upstate New York, bro. Like the love there, people don't understand when you're the only business in town. It was Syracuse University, man, and the Buffalo Bills. That was it. From Toronto all the way to you going back in Boston of the thruway, man. It's all Syracuse, man. It's crazy. Yeah. Best 4 years of my life, man. Hands down.
Could it been anywhere else? Cause somebody else almost get DC to go there?
Michigan State.
Oh, okay.
And I probably would have went because I'm a year older than Steve Smith.
Smitty, that's what I was about to say. Smitty had to be there.
Me and Smitty grew up together. Me and Smitty, summer leagues, everything, together since we were kids. And again, even Steve was a late bloomer. You know what I'm saying? Like people weren't really recruiting him like they should have been recruiting him. But if he would have told me like, yo, I'm gonna go to Michigan State, I would have went the year before him. That was the only other school, that I went to. I canceled, like I was supposed to go to Michigan, right? And y'all know the stories. So here come Bill Frieder into my uncle's house. We sitting there and he's, hey man, you are number one recruit. We want you so bad at Michigan, giving us a song and a dance, right? So I'm sitting there. He leaves, it's the middle of winter. So before my uncle go to work, we go outside, clean his car off, 5 in the morning. We clean his car off at work, shovel the driveway, all that shit. So we come back.
That's the old school. I love that. I mean, that's the real. That's how I grew up.
Bro, it's still built in us. We just gotten so far away from it with the next generation, man, and teaching them that. Like my uncle would
Man.
make us, man, we would shovel our driveway and then we shovel all our neighbors' driveway.
Straight
And we
up.
couldn't accept no money.
At all.
Man.
Yeah,
At
my
all.
cousin. Yeah, at
I'm
all.
talking about if your mama pulled up and every kid on the block
Oh,
didn't come get them groceries and take them in
Hey.
their house,
Thank
they'll
you.
never come over there again.
Man.
Thank
It
you,
what?
bro.
It's different, bro. It's just like
Yeah.
it's different.
But it's up to us, man, to keep pushing that envelope with them kids, man. You know what I'm saying? We got that voice with them babies. So I come back in the house. I'm sitting at the table. My aunt up. She done made us breakfast before we go to school. My uncle coming there with the damn newspaper, man. He slams that motherfucker on the table. You see that? I'm like, what, huh? I open the newspaper up, right? It got Terry Mills on the front of the newspaper with a crown on his head, said he's Michigan #1 recruit.
Wow.
Man, my uncle went in that bedroom and called Bill Frieda, cussed his ass out, and canceled my visit.
That was the end of that.
They killed it.
Fuck y'all. We ain't coming up there. You just said in my living room last night and told me my nephew was the best. That he's #1 recruit. Yeah. So
the
after
paper
my
just
visit to
tricked it
Michigan,
for
so
him.
that's why I'm like, yeah, I go to Michigan State. Let me get at them. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
You gotta
See,
get
a
at
few
them.
times
Yeah.
a year annually.
Oh, they annually, yeah. Then we wind up playing them, twice. We came to Michigan. We were 17-0 and my sophomore year, and they beat us at Michigan. And then they came to Syracuse, and next year we blew their ass out by like 20. Yeah.
Your junior year, you was a top 5 pick. Why you didn't decide to just go out your junior year and just do all 4?
I had back spasms. I hurt my
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
I think the first 2 games, even in the tournament, I didn't even play. And I just thought that I wasn't ready. Like I didn't go out the way I wanted to go out. So I came back to school. Then again, Coach Boeheim, I'm talking to him in his office, and he's like, Derrick, look, you top 5, right now if you chose, to leave school, whatever. He said, but I know you. He said, once you come back one more year and go #1. I said, yeah, Coach, you do know me. Yeah, you do know me. I said, yeah, but you want to win too. I don't get it twisted. You know what I'm saying? So went back to school, man, one of the best decisions of my life. But you know what? I was having so much fun in college, man.
Yeah.
People don't even understand that, bro. They like, damn, you went to school all 4 years? I'm like, yeah.
Hey, you're 113 and 31. I know it was a lot of fun in college.
Yeah. I think
I know it was a lot of fun.
one of the other guys, them just broke our record. I think Chris Joseph and Brandon Trish and them, I think they came in together because me and Stevie Thompson came in school together. We, like you said, we was 100 and some and 20 some,
Yeah.
So now imagine that though, D, right? I'm 100 and some and 20 some in 4 years, right? I go to Jersey and win 19 damn basketball games.
That's what I was about to ask you about.
OG, you can't talk to me. I went to Cleveland. We won 17 out of 82. I feel your pain.
Hey, listen.
17 out of 82, it's just a whole lot of ass kicking.
But that's what people don't understand about us. It ain't about the money. It ain't about none of that, bro. It's the frustration of not. You know what I'm saying?
You won your whole life.
And it ain't really under your control.
Thank
it ain't
you.
really it ain't as easy as to say like how you choose colleges or whatever. Like especially in y'all day. Like it's much more, it's much more possible and easier for guys of significant superstar status to make moves, and they can demand different things and get out of this and go that way. Like y'all were tied in for even longer than we are now, 7, 8, 9 years and all of that stuff. And it was like that was during the era where when you knew your team, like we talk about the Dohertys and all that, we knew that team for like 6, 7 years. It was the same guys. Right. You might change out 1 or 2 guys here and there, but those those teams were those teams for a long time. And it was that was way, and like you say, especially when you contrast what you just said, going 130 something and like 20 something in 4 years of college. That's the epitome of success. You know what I'm saying? You've been winning. You known as a winner. You known as a competitive guy. You always in the fight. It's not
Yes.
like any of us. Like I didn't win like that in college. You didn't win like
Yeah.
that in high school and then go to losing. Like he won at an abundant amount and then went straight to the bottom of the cellar. That's
Man.
hard, bro.
Hey,
Yeah.
hold up, Q. I did win in
Yes.
high school like that. Like, don't disrespect me. But I
Hey,
did in high
DC,
school.
I know we from the
I
same state.
did
He ain't
win
win
in
no
high
state championship like me.
I didn't
So he
win a
can't
state
say-
championship, but
So
that
don't
record,
enter this.
that
You ain't
record
win
was
like that.
impeccable.
You
I
ain't
only
win no
lost 10
state champ-
games. I only
You
lost 10 games
yeah.
in 3 years.
But you still was losing the big one. You was
Yeah.
used to that.
Okay.
He didn't won
Look,
it.
Mark, don't feel bad, D. Mark making them beat us in the big one. Hey, for the state, man. They stalled the whole game, man.
Oh, you know they
Oh.
stall us playing like that. They know about the stall, hold the ball the whole game.
They can't have y'all get the ball. Y'all too dangerous.
Hold the ball the whole game. I know it.
Hey, so this the part I want to ask you though. So you go through your whole 4 years now, and like you say, you a guy who watched the game. You rush home and watch Pearl Washington, this and that. So for you to be coming out in the draft, you get picked number 1, and you being compared to Barkley, Malone, these guys you grew up looking at, and then now the next year you come in, I'm about to be rookie, and now I gotta go bust these dudes' ass. How was that for you?
Oh, it was beautiful. You know what I'm saying? Because again, we all, just what you just said, we're looking at that as kids growing up, watching the game of basketball, man, studying the game of basketball.
Yep.
And to reach that pinnacle, I always remember calling my cousins, you know what I'm saying? Because they was huge. I'm a huge Charles Barkley fan. You know what I'm saying? I grew up on Barkley, so I'm like, yo, I got Chuck tonight. Turn the TV on. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Or I got Kevin McHale and Larry Bird. You know what I'm saying?
Word.
Turn the TV on. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And you from that era where you can't let you get pumped in
No,
no
come
minute of
on.
the game. You can't get pumped in no minute. You can't
Right.
push me by mistake. You can't do
Right.
nothing.
Right, I'm jumping right
And
back.
this is my
Yeah.
guy. I love this guy.
and
But I gotta
time out.
fuck him up.
And time out. Not only was he of that era, like he was one of them goons in that era. Like he was
No,
like,
they
hold
don't.
on.
Turn that Q. I swear.
The
I
respect
ain't
level
never
was through the
started no
roof up
fight.
here.
Yeah, I ain't
Whether-
starting that, man.
Listen, I just know. Listen, there you go. Like you said, we historians in this. So I grew up knowing it was a few dudes that you don't mess with out there on the court. Just from watching, I'm just watching.
Yeah.
I'm watching all the games. I see. Okay,
Yeah.
Oakley will take you out. Okay,
Yeah.
damn, DC ain't playing. That was open hand right there. Like, come on, bro. Like,
What you said, Q. So look, I grew up with Charles Oakley because he's from Cleveland.
right.
You know what I'm saying? So he used to come to Detroit all the time. I knew him when I was still in college. Still my big brother, best friend to this day.
Word.
I love
But
Charles Oakley.
We walk out there on that basketball court, boy, your ass is out. Mother be like, damn, man, you don't look like y'all about to fight. I'm like, yeah, it's real.
Hey, they say that about me and Q. Me and Q play against each other. They be like, man, y'all don't like each other? Like, nah. I'm finna fuck him up.
He still want bragging rights, man.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
Ain't no, hey, man, we going to, I see you at dinner when this shit over with.
There you
I ain't
go.
going to dinner with you or nothing. I'm going to give you a pound when we come out. You know what I'm saying?
A lot of people ain't coming to this league averaging 20 and 10 right off the back for like 5-6 years.
Yes.
Like for you to come in and accomplish that, just say your first year when you won Rookie of the Year, like where did you feel when you had your validation? Like you know how you be like my rookie year, it was like a couple of games in, probably mid through the season, that I felt like, oh, I'm good enough to really be here and play on this level, especially coming out of high school. But with you, you coming in where centers and power forwards, it's a track list of them. They equipped to go. You gotta have a center and power forward, or you ain't having no team back then. That's the first thing you have. You know what I'm saying?
That brick, D.
So for you to come in and average 20 and then, when did you like, oh man, I'm here? Like,
because you know what? Like even in college, like for one, if it was all just based on scoring, I would have scored more points. But see, that's something in my lifetime I never cared about. From high school to college, I never led us in scoring my whole 4 years at Syracuse.
I didn't know that.
But I was the leading scorer and rebounder in Syracuse history. Lawrence Moulton just broke my record when he was in school as a top scorer in Syracuse. I never cared about, you know what I'm saying, scoring. You know what I'm saying? Long as we getting the W's, man, hey, I'm going to pass the ball. Now, when the game's on the line, hey, coach, swing it here. You know?
Bring that to me, man.
Yeah,
bring that to me, man.
Yeah. So I just thought because we zoned up a lot, and I just really didn't get a chance to showcase that. You know, once I got to the next level, I said, yeah, you know, y'all ain't seen, you know, the tip of the iceberg yet.
You ain't seen nothing yet.
Yeah, y'all ain't seen nothing yet. And even with my coaches, they were like, Derrick, you know, you're only averaging about 15 shots a game. I'm like, man, I ain't tripping about that. You know, when the game's on the line, okay, me and Kenny go to work. You know, yeah. So I never really cared about the D at all, man. It's just about getting the dub.
My coach was kind of like Boeheim. We played 2-3. We pressed. We never played man to man. Our offense was real simple. We didn't have a long list of offensive plays.
Right, yeah.
It was just a few out of bounds, and we had about 4 or 5 sets. You know what I'm saying? So I used to feel like, man, it's so hard to show everything that I got, that I can do. I didn't think people seen what I can do. So when I had opportunity to play other places, I was trying to get it right.
Yeah, but coach, you know, he again never restricted me from doing anything in basketball, you know. And then when Billy came there, man, I mean, oh my God, you know, that kid, something terrible, man.
Billy Owens was killing that Syracuse, boy.
I love Billy Owens in Golden State.
Yeah,
just smooth with it,
man. Just
smooth.
Yeah.
Billy O, baby.
Yeah, smooth with it, man.
You in New Jersey, you win Rookie of the Year, but you there with a superstar talent in Kenny Anderson.
My man.
And you know us big men, we love them point guards who gonna dish that thing and gonna get it to us the right way. How was it just rocking with Kenny Anderson, one of the best point guards?
Kenny, right? I take Kenny out on his visit to Syracuse, right? Yeah. So, you know, he's like, nah, yo, you know, it's too cold up here, yo.
Oh, straight New York City.
So fast forward, right? We get to the draft. I'm in the room with our GMs and the coaches and stuff. So they asking me about who should we take in the draft. We already had Mookie Blaylock.
Yeah, you had Mookie.
The thief of Baghdad, man.
Yeah.
Take everything.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, so we had Mookie, right? So he's like, who you think we should take in the draft? So I'm like, okay, I don't think we need another point guard. Here comes Steve, and here comes Billy Owens. So I'm like, whichever one of them you want to take, I'm good, because both of them are homeboys. You know what I'm saying? And we need it. Night of the draft, bro, they draft Kenny. Didn't tell me nothing. You know, so now I'm pissed. I'm at the draft in New York.
Right.
Because, like I said, it's Billy, Steve, and Doug Smith. Played at Missouri. You know, all of us grew up together. So I'm at the draft. I had to go back because they had a party for Kenny in Jersey. So I had to go and introduce Kenny, you know what I'm saying, at the party in Jersey. So I'm on fire. The party rocking, right?
I ain't even participating in this thing right here.
I ain't participating at all. So they come out there and get me. I go up on stage. I introduce Kenny, you know what I'm saying? Shake his hand. I'm right back out the door in the limo going back to New York. You know? So I come up there in the summertime and Janet Jackson, Salt and Pepper, it's a concert going on. So my boy like, yo, you know, Salt and Pepper, Janet, you know, there's a concert in Westbury, you coming. I go to the concert. Me, my man, Ed Lover, Todd Wine, all of us there. So I see Rod Strick. You know, so me and Strick know each other. You know, I see Strick. We talking, you know what I'm saying? So I'm like, he's like, Kenny here? I'm like, where? So Kenny comes out the room. That's when he was messing with Spinderella.
Okay.
He comes out the room as soon as he see me. Hey, yo, come here, man. I need to talk to you for a minute, man. I'm like, what up, Kenny? He's like, I heard you ain't want me in the draft. I said, I did.
Well, at least he was brave enough to say it.
I like the keeping it 100 though.
You know what I'm saying? But I explained it to him, you know what I'm saying? So we started laughing, man. And I don't know if y'all remember, Bill Fish didn't even let Kenny play his rookie season.
Yeah, he didn't really play it, Mookie Blaylock in front, you still in everything. You got to
Yeah,
work your way up.
yeah. So they even let him play his whole rookie. Oh, I don't play rookies. You know what I'm saying? So we
That
still
He one
is.
getting
of them
drugged.
come.
You know what I'm saying? He'll play, the scrub minutes. So you
Yeah.
saw his talent and what he was able to do. I mean, Kenny is a legend.
Yeah.
So he
One of my
finally got the
favorite point
opportunity,
guards
man,
ever.
to get out there on that floor, man. I mean, it was dynamic, bro. You know what I'm saying, with him. It's only probably about 3-4 guys I've seen, fellas, that really the basketball is a part of them. Or they're faster with the basketball.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
First person I've seen like that, Pearl Washington. Chubby as Pearl was, that ball was like a part of him, man.
Yeah, he
Then
gone.
Kenny, I seen him like that. Like that ball was a part of him. Baron Davis. I played with Baron
Yeah.
in Charlotte.
BD in Charlotte, yeah.
I'm saying Stephon Marbury. I seen
Mhm.
Steph. I'm like, man, that ball is a part of him, man. He
Yeah.
flies. We like when they got the ball, they faster, bro. You know?
They faster, yeah.
Yeah.
How was it for you? Now you get like Kenny A and you went from not even wanting to draft him, and now you got him, and now y'all make the All-Star game together. Y'all are legit,
Yeah.
1-2 combo. I can
Tandem.
remember on NBA
Yeah.
Jam, I'm picking y'all like, yo,
Yeah, right.
DC and Kenny A a cool combo though. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like y'all was
Yeah.
you know what I'm saying? Y'all was seen as that, and they was marketing y'all. Like, how was that for you at that point in your career to be in that position?
And making the playoffs too.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, again, it's all about winning, more than anything. I think that everything changed for us when Chuck Daly got there, rest his soul, like he understood it, man. He gave you the influence. And like I said, with me and Kenny, we two lefties out there, you know what I'm saying? So we having the ball, man. And I always thought, All-Star games, all that stuff is political, man, because I'm like, them cats that they were picking on the All-Star team, me and Kenny always thought like, we should have been on the All-Star team this year. But it's patience and wait your time, you know what I'm saying, and playing. But just that tag team, man, that tandem, with me and Kenny, man, it was magic because again, you got two left-hand guys out there, then you understand the game. Ball. Yeah.
Rare 1-2 punch as a lefty, to both of them lefties.
Right. Yeah, man. So it was great, man. I was really like upset when they traded him, you know what I'm saying? Because, again, we was going to playoffs every year, playing Cleveland. Cleveland beat the shit out of us. Then they play Chicago. Chicago beat them. Then Detroit would beat them, man. So we look forward to that challenge. And shit, they traded Kenny. Draws passed away first. Then they traded Kenny. Then they didn't re-sign Chuck Daly as our coach. So we took like 8 steps backwards, man, like back to the beginning. Like starting over again.
It was one more player I wanted to ask you that you played with that we didn't get an opportunity to get a lot of him because he passed away. That was Drazen Petrovic. I used to love Drazen Petrovic because he wasn't scared of Mike. He wasn't scared of Mike. He used to be like, I'm out here.
I'm scared of nobody, bro.
And people like, a lot of this generation don't really know, obviously the overseas community, he's a legend there, but like the American population, they may not be aware of how much of a legend he was and how lethal he was as a shooter.
He just couldn't get on the floor out there in Portland, man. So we traded for him, bro. It just, man, anywhere he gonna put that motherfucker up. You know what I'm saying? Kick it to me, D. Kick it to me. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, man. And again, he always accepted the challenge.
All us watched Dream Team 1 in Barcelona.
They can't fuck with us.
To get selected to Dream Team 2, which is like my favorite players too. Like I love that just as much. Like how was it to get selected to that team?
Time out. Before, did you just say the Dream Team 1 can't mess with y'all?
Did I stutter?
Okay, look, I wanted to make sure that was clear and plain. Okay, I just wanted to make sure I was understanding it right.
Look, man, I got the 8th wonder of the world, man, which is Shaquille O'Neal, bro.
Say that then, be
Who
that
you want to
then.
put at the 4? You want to put me? You want to
Sean
put
Kill?
Sean Kill?
Like Larry Johnson? You're like, who you want? You got Reggie.
You got Smitty with you.
You got Shooter.
Hold up, Reggie. I got Joe and Zeke at my guards, and Mark Price, and Tim Hardaway,
Kevin Johnson.
and Kevin Johnson.
Yeah, I'm with you. I'm with you.
Come on,
I'm with you.
man.
I love it. I love Dream Team too. And y'all kicked ass
Come on,
just as
man.
much as they kicked ass.
Come on, Q. How you not feeling that, Q?
Hey,
I'm
no.
feeling that.
I ain't say I wasn't. I just wanted it to be plain and clear so nothing is
Very
misunderstood.
plain.
Yeah,
Very
I
plain
hear.
and
Hey,
simple.
look.
Dominique Wilkins. Oh man, they
Thank
had
you.
him, man.
And
They
Nick
had
should
him,
have
man.
been the first one.
Man.
He should have been the first one.
As Zeke and Shaq too. Get later
Yeah.
up out of there. You feel
Come
me?
on,
Yeah.
man.
Lonzo Mourning, man.
Man,
Mark
come on,
Price.
man.
We was just talking about Mark Price.
Hold up. And Reggie Miller.
And
Oh,
Reggie.
yeah.
And
Dan Marley. Dan Marley.
Thunder Dan.
Yeah.
Thunder Dan.
What you need? We
got
got.
me, Dan, and Steve from Michigan. Come on,
Yeah.
man.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
love. How was
Team
that to
was great.
just get selected to be on that team? You the next
It was-
dream team.
Yeah, it was great. I was just riding, and Rod Thorne called me on my phone. It's like, hey, man, you know, we got Dream Team 2. You know, we want to put you on the team. And he was just running off everybody else that was on the team, you know, and I'm excited about it.
Right.
He said, and your homeboy, Steve Smith. I said, hey, man.
Ooh,
hey,
that was a cherry on top, right? That
We
was
knew
a
you
cherry
signed
on top.
Checkmate. You know,
Two boys from the D about to be crossing waters, representing the country,
man.
getting it
Come on,
in.
man.
That's dope.
Oh, come on, man. Don Nelson, you know, was our coach, man. Like I said, we had so much fun, man. And it really, you know what it is? It gave us more anything, just all of us to vibe, you know?
Yeah.
We all go through it. Again, back to people. They don't understand us, man. We all go through the same struggles, man. And we don't share that with everybody. We share that with each other. Because I understand that, you understand. So it gave us a chance, man, to vibe, man. We had so much fun, man. It's crazy. And they, you know, they still kind of like write us off. Like we wasn't that deal, you know what I'm saying?
Y'all was that deal. I'm with you. Y'all was that deal. I see how y'all was kicking ass just as much as them. 50-point games. We beating y'all ass.
And what people don't realize, like, that's like anybody who's played in the NBA, like, especially after y'all, the Dream Team 1, 2, after all of that, like, to be picked on that team is higher than an all-star level. It's higher than that's the highest level you could get past like winning the like that is the biggest achievement to get picked because you getting picked out of the pool of the best players in the world in the country to represent you. So it's like like that's the pinnacle right there. Like right there when you win the NBA, then we picking the best of the best.
All our family was there, and we in the championship. So you know. And Don, Coach Nelson, you know, he just started, you know, every night time we played, we had different teams, you know, to start. Ain't nobody tripping on that. So it's the chip. So he's like, come on, Shaq, Derrick, Reggie, you know what I'm saying? So when I'm walking by him, I said, Coach, I'm finna get this shit over with real quick. You hear me? Real quick. I had like the first 13 myself.
Straight up.
Tray bag, boom. Drive to the dunk and one, boom. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I'm finna get it over with, Coach, real quick.
Give him his work right.
Yeah. So me and Steve, you know, we sitting there, man, on the podium, you know what I'm saying? I said, bro, we went from the ghetto to a gold medal, man. Can you believe it?
Gold medal.
Ghetto
Can you believe this,
medal.
man? Not in your wildest dreams, bro.
Gold
Where
medal,
we come from.
It's amazing what that little orange ball could do for you, ain't it?
Yeah. Thank you, man.
It's amazing with that little bitty ball that we just playing with. It could change
Take you around the world.
Take you around the world if you let it, man. That's right. Yeah.
AI is our OG. We looked up AI. You know, that's our guy, Bubba Chuck.
Yeah.
But AI is your rookie.
Oh man, my dude. To this
He
day.
your rookie. You know that. That's our guy. So how was it to have AI as a rookie, to be your rookie? Your
answer walking through the door. The answer with all that swag.
Allen, man. Allen was a rock star. You hear me? He was really a rock star. But
we've experienced it.
A great guy, though. You know what I'm saying?
Extremely.
Like, shirt off his back, man. He was a great guy. And him and Larry Brown used to clash, you know, all the time. But Larry Brown just wanted the best for him. And it just took him a while to understand that. You know, he's like, Coach love you, Aaron McKee, and Eric Snow. He'll give y'all the shirt off his back. I said, he'll give it to you too, Al. I said, you just an asshole.
yeah. But he was so used to everybody against him like that. Nobody with him. He ain't never been around that.
He never been around that. You know what I'm saying? So I used to get him all the time and to tell him, because again, with us, we ain't never in no trouble, man. You know what I'm saying? It's always somebody that's with us that's on some BS, and they say, hey, it was him.
Yeah.
So I used to tell him all the time, like, yo, send your homeboys home, man. You know, because they going to get you in trouble and they going to blame you. Yeah, they driving your cars, but they driving your cars, and whose name is registered? Allen Iverson. And we pulled Allen Iverson over, you know what I'm saying? They got guns in the car, they got weed, whatever. He ain't nowhere to be found. It just took him a while to, you know, to understand that, bro, you know, but love him. He was just here in Detroit, you know what I'm saying? I came and went to go see him. And right before all this COVID stuff happened, as soon as he seen me, he started crying.
Yeah. Now, just what you said about
he loved Detroit too.
One of the first, well, not one of the first time I ever met him. You remember D was sick. This was old Summer Groove, but like speaking of like how good of a person you were, like you said, in the same instance of him being that rock star, we go out. It's the first night, you know, Larry Hughes, my OG, so he bring us
for
and
sure,
we go.
Bug,
we bring us, so like we out, we get in the limo and everything, and I got like you know, I'm fresh. I ain't even got my jewels game right yet. I had like a diamond cut 3. That was my college number, and going to Leah's my number. I got like a diamond cut 3. So you know, he come when he get in the car. I get in, he get settled in. He saying what's up, everything. Then he look at me. He like, wow, he got you a little 3 chain. He like, ain't no 3 chain. He tell his homeboy go get his chain. Homeboy come down with the big boy, stupid diamond out 3 chain. Then he take my chain off my neck and put that one on. I'm like, oh man, you got man, I'm 19. I'm like, man, I got AI chain on going to the club with AI. Boy, I was like, it's crazy, it's lit. And like that's speaking of what you said. In the same instant, he a rock star. Soon as we get out, it's like, but he didn't already took care of the young boy and made me feel like $1 million walking in this joint. The whole night is over with. It don't matter what happened by now. I'm telling everybody at the crib, I was wearing AI chain the whole night. He put it on my neck like.
Yeah, he's a great dude, man. Great dude. Like I said, he came here, man. I went and met him. We had some drinks and stuff. And I'm like, motherfucker, what you crying for? He's like, no, I just ain't seen you in a minute. You know what I'm saying? I get emotional when I get around you. I say, man, hey, man, it's just real love. You know what I'm saying?
And Chuck, he always get emotional. That's why he be like, hey, man, don't talk to me like that, because you gonna have me in here crying. He like, don't talk to me like that.
So this how I get
when somebody show him that love, he cry.
Yeah, it's real love. So we sitting in there, right? I call Coach Brown. I sitting here. I put Al on the phone with him, man. He started crying again.
That's real love, bro. That boy love you to death, man.
What you call Coach Brown for?
Like call your daddy on you, man.
Yeah, exactly. That's what I'm saying. Daddy want to speak to you.
Yeah, he checked in, man.
He like, man,
Coach Brown.
That?
You know that man love you.
Yeah, man. Start crying all over again.
Yeah, you know that man love him.
Love him.
Hey, so look, you one of the. It's only a few people that the big, like you said, the eighth wonder of the world. He only really acknowledged a few people in the history really dunking on him.
Yeah,
and you and I remember the dunk. I remember the dunk. You kaboomed his.
Yeah,
he wasn't getting dunked on. So nobody dunking on him.
How did you feel after that dunk? But then the next time y'all saw him, that's when he pulled down the structure, right? So tell me about that whole deal.
Well, we out there right off the rip again, man, talking shit to each other. You know what I'm saying? That's how all of us grew up playing basketball.
You're right, yeah.
Exactly.
What he gonna do, you know?
Yeah.
Like, shit, yo, you ain't got nobody down to check D. I'm gonna get 40. You gonna get 40 in this motherfucker. I with me at the game, you'll file all of us out. You know what I'm saying? So we be going back and forth, laughing, talking shit. When I drove that bitch and banged it on his motherfucking head. When he banged it, I hit him with that. See, the Kimbe stole that from me. First, he hit him over with that finger, like, yeah. So when he come back next time again, we talking shit. You know what I'm saying? So Dwayne Simpson is out there. God rest his soul too. You know, man. Shaq spit on that motherfucker.
The whole structure came down on it.
Everybody.
I would never in my life.
How was the crowd looking? How everybody was looking?
Everybody in shock, bro. Everybody with their mouth open, like, this mother just snatched the whole basket down.
I would never in my life forget when I saw that, like on Sports Center or whatever. I was like,
but you know, look, cute though. It gets better. because Nick Anderson wasn't even supposed to play that night. He had the flu. He had like 45.
OG Nick, boy. People
Yeah,
be sleeping on Nick Anderson. OG
like
Nick from the crib putting them
he had
buckets
like
on people.
So we running back and down. I said, motherfucker, I thought you was sick.
It'd be the best games when you sick.
Yeah,
it
when
seems like
you
you
sick,
feel something different.
Man, couldn't stop him, bro. Nick was killing us, man. And then all of us come out, together. Me and Nick done played in the McDonald's All-American game, all that together, man. Look, gave Nick my number.
Oh, in the McDonald's game?
It's been some bullshit all my life, bro.
In the McDonald's game?
Detroit. McDonald's All-American game, downtown Cobo Hall, and you gonna give Nick Anderson 44 and not gave me 43.
Oh, this so disrespect.
Wait, so let me ask you this. Was he ranked higher or something? Because usually that's how they try and do you.
Probably. I don't know.
Probably.
I don't know. But hey, I went out there and gave him the business, though.
You from Detroit, you grew up watching Detroit basketball, and you get the opportunity to put a Detroit jersey on. Like, how was that to just, I know it was kind of at the end of your career, but
terrible.
how was...
I don't even count that, D.
I like the candidness. The candidness.
That turned me off from basketball. That turned me off because the first chance I had the opportunity to ever win in my life, right?
Yeah.
They just won the championship. You know what I'm saying? I come home and, man, I'm ready. You know what I'm saying? I'm like, okay, I got an opportunity. I got some guys I've been knowing, you know what I'm saying, all my life, And first time in my life, really, politics played into the game of basketball with me, And again, I've been knowing Joe Dumars all my life. Since I've been a kid. He come in the summertime, they come to the gym and play with us, and to get home and not be able to play, to show out, you know what I'm saying,
right.
at home, that hurt me more than it. And I wasn't, come on, man, I'm 15 years in it, so I wasn't trying to start or nothing, but you sit here trying to tell me that I can't play at all?
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So that hurt me. Again, that hurt me more than anything, bro. Sitting there watching. I could have sat there, bro, another 10 years if I wanted to.
Yeah.
But that's not who I am. If I can't play or participate, man, in the game, bro, you know what? I'm gone.
Ain't no need to be
there.
I like that
no
too.
free check. You ain't here to steal or just freeload.
Yeah, I that's not who I am, man. So that was probably the most frustrating in my life. Like, I still haven't signed my retirement papers, bro. That's how pissed off, you know what I'm saying, I was. Like, when I left Detroit and, they waived me. So Jay Kidd called me, you know what I'm saying? He wanted me to come back to Jersey. Toronto had called me. Houston had called me, man. And I just wasn't feeling it, you know? And I told my wife that. She was like, baby, I said, I'm done. She was like, you just mad, you frustrated right now. I said, yeah, I am that, baby. But I said, I can't, that's not who I am. I can't do that. And the first time that I had actually moved my family home. I stayed in Jersey, Philly, you know how we do. We go somewhere, we taking our whole family. So I want to re-up my kids and, more. I'm like, I'm done. I probably stayed in the house, bro, about 2 weeks. You know what I'm saying? Just didn't do nothing. You know what I'm saying? For 2 weeks, man. Just sat there, evaluated.
That's the part that a lot of people, like regular people, don't understand. They feel like, man, what he tripping for? He got all them, like, he played for... Nah, bro, you don't understand. It's a lot deeper than that for us. Like you said, it's about, like, number one, before you get to anything, we play this game of basketball because we love to play basketball. Like, the money and everything that came, we had no clue that we could achieve that when we started loving this game. Like, this is all after the fact. So don't ever get it twisted and think that just because they on TV, they all-stars or they making money like that, everything is gravy and they don't have regular life and real life happening to them. And, like, that was a point where it was like when I retired, I didn't want to. It was a situation that I had no control over, and just I can't say that, you know what I'm saying, I didn't go out of the house, but I I know I was in a place where I was fucked up. I was
Yeah,
mad.
yeah.
I was bitter. I'm watching the games,
Right,
and as it
yeah.
went from me watching the games, and now I'm becoming a mad baller. I'm hating. He
Yeah,
weak.
right,
Fuck,
right,
he
right,
signed for. I
right,
should be out there.
yeah.
I'm better than him. I'm better than him. It's a
Right.
bull. Then I go to, I don't even want to watch this. I turn it off. Then I'm
Yeah.
mad, and then I go to like, all right, you know what I'm saying? I'm like, I love ball. I gotta watch it. Then I go back. I ease myself back into watching it. Then it just like it was us
Yeah.
getting used to like this ain't you no more.
Yeah, man.
And that's the first time in your life somebody tell you, I don't want you to be on it. Like that was the first time in my whole life since like I picked up a ball that I wasn't on the team. I was
Yes.
like, what the fuck? I ain't a
Yeah,
Warrior. I
what's
ain't a
happening?
Dolphin.
Right.
I ain't a Blue Demon. I ain't a Clipper. I'm like, what the, I'm
Right.
just Richardson.
Yeah.
And I was like, you know, it was good that I was newly married. My wife was pregnant, so it was like, okay, like I could kind of bury myself into being
Right.
Team Richardson,
Yeah.
and my wife was helping me get my mind around that and like still encouraging me. But it was like that shit is hard, bro. That's a hard time and a hard transition for us.
Yeah, you know what we do, you know what I'm saying? We good, baby. You know?
Yep.
But it's hard, but you know what I'm saying? Because we built that way. You know, we can't never have a bad day. You know what I'm saying?
Yep.
Because we are the threshold of our families.
We the
regardless.
leaders. We the head.
You know what I'm saying?
We can't show emotion. We gotta
Can't
stand
show
up,
no-
keep our
thank-
chin
thank
high,
you.
so everybody else behind us feel like they strong.
Yeah.
They
Imagine
just
they
as
see
strong
you
as us.
fucked up. They like, yo,
Yeah.
it's really fucked up.
It's really fucked
He
up. They
mad,
see
yeah.
me. Yeah, real
Yeah,
talk. Real
Straight
talk.
up.
I told him that, man. You know, I had to go in the basement and cry. I can't let nobody
Yeah.
see me cry. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
They're like,
Yeah.
damn, D crying? Like, oh,
Yeah.
man, it's got to be fucked up if he crying because
Yeah.
I ain't never seen him cry before, you know?
There you go.
That's why I love seeing our brothers walk off on their terms. I love to
Yeah.
see when D Wade walked off and the
Yeah.
Kobe's, and
Yeah.
I love to see
So
when they get
rare.
that because all us don't get that.
It's
like
so
like
rare.
all us don't get the Fred Word tour and all that stuff. Some of us get the politics to get our ass kicked on out, and ain't nobody fucking with us like
Yeah.
we stink or something,
Yeah.
like we smell or
What's
something.
up?
Like,
Yeah.
but I love to see my brothers like D Wade and them when they get a chance to walk off and they get
Yeah,
them
man. Did it
tributes
my
and they
way.
get all
Yeah.
that stuff.
Yeah.
Like, I love to see that. I might have not have got it, but I'm happy as hell for them to get
Oh,
it.
come on now. And then think about it. Larry Brown was my coach. My
Mhm.
coach in Philly. So he came to Detroit. So even when I was coming to practice, I'm like, Coach, shit, you know, what's up? So he was trying to get Joe and them to trade Dorco, you know. And then they had just gave Dice a bunch of money. So that when he said that, I'm like, okay, here comes the politics.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And I'm like, dog,
Yeah.
these are all my brothers. You know what I'm saying? Like, again, we've been knowing each other forever. I'm not
Yeah.
tripping about that. But you sitting there, Eldon Campbell, you know what I'm saying? So you sitting there telling me that I can't play at all?
Right.
Yeah.
That's
My
the part.
question was to him, like, well, what the fuck you bring me here for?
Yeah.
I could have stayed in Philly and played 2 more years and been good, you know?
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah,
Yeah.
you know, so the money shit, you know what I'm saying? So I'm like, yo, man, all right, I'll holla. I'll see y'all later, man. I'm good.
This is a kind of fun question we kind of ask everybody. Like, out of all the teams you played for, all the teammates you had in the NBA, if you had to pick 4 other players to play with you, who would be them 4 other players, no matter what team?
Well, I'm gonna get the 8 Wonder. You know what I'm saying? Because that keeps me out the middle and let me be able to do what I need to do. You know what I'm saying?
The Diesel.
Yeah, I'm gonna get the 8 Wonder, man. I mean, I grew up loving Magic, you know, my whole life, man. So definitely, you know, Magic. You know, I wish that we can go back in time because I could have played with Gerv. That's the reason I wear 44 to this day because of
Iceman.
The coolest man on the planet now.
Planet.
Young fella.
Yeah. Right now to this day.
Yeah. Love Iceman.
Yeah. So, you know, guys like that, man. Even Kareem, you know, just for me, his knowledge of anything. See, people don't give Kareem his respect, man,
At
because
all.
he said the hell with the Olympics back then.
Yeah.
So without a guy like Kareem saying the hell with the Olympics, bro, we would never even known about a Spencer Haywood.
Word.
So that moved Spencer Haywood right into that position, man, and he went and dominated the Olympics. They like, man, who the hell is this kid?
Mhm.
You know? So guys like that, man, you know, for me, like, everybody say, you know, with Mike, I love Mike to death, but I mean, I grew up a Bad Boys fan, man.
Right, I dig it.
So I'm a rep Detroit for life, bro.
Straight
You
up.
know?
Start, bench, cut. You got start one, you got bench one, you got cut one.
Woo.
Karl Malone.
Oh, he been start, cut, bench, whatever. Yeah.
Charles Barkley.
Yeah, he on the bench.
Kemp.
He on the bench. You know what I'm saying? Yeah.
Sean Kemp. Barkley.
Yo, he start. Kemp start.
Kemp was that boy.
Yeah, starting Kemp, you benching Barkley and
I'm
cutting Malone.
Yeah, he got it. And the reason, you know what, I don't have that personally. Well, I'll take that back. I should have let it go now, you know what I'm saying? But I don't know if y'all remember. And again, like I said, I grew up a Detroit Piston fan.
Oh, yeah. I know where you're going with this. When he elbowed Z.
When he elbowed Isaiah in his eye,
I remember that.
Gave him 50 stitches, bro.
So you hated him forever for that. Every time you played him, that's all you thought about.
He cared nothing about the game, D.
That's all you thought about.
Yeah, I'm getting him one. You know what I'm saying?
For the hood, for the city. You gotta take one for the town, baby.
This is right here for Zeke. Take that one with you.
You gotta take one for the town. I already know.
Still, you know, like I said, I should let it go now. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, man.
It be those moments.
Like that, bro.
That's how I felt. Hey, you wanna know who I felt like that about when I first got in the NBA? I hated Reggie Miller like that. I used to try and do Reggie Miller bad every time I saw him. I'm like, I was more physical than him. I was like, yeah. Why? And then he used to do little dirty stuff anyway to make you want to mess him up. He'd throw you, he'd scratch your arms, he'd stop and go and bump your head, but you. So I was like, man, I'm about to. I don't like Reggie Miller. Like, you know what I'm saying? I got like, obviously we cool. That's the OG now. He cool. But like when I first got the league, I ain't never say no. I just used to secretly in my own mind be at him like I'm about to give him one today. Like he used to always mess with Mike. I'm on him. Like he hit that one shot to beat them in the playoffs.
One game I choked him out. He ran up on me. He was talking shit. He just ran up on me before I knew it, man. I had locked around his neck. Like, what the hell you think you talking to, man? Yeah. But again, my dude, you know what I'm saying? I don't hold no grudges, man. You know?
I love Reggie now. Reggie the coolest dude ever that, boy. But I used to secretly never say nothing. We laughed about it when we was on Dream Team, too. You know what I'm saying? We laughed about it. Like, man, you choked the shit out of me. I'm like, yeah. Like, my fault, Reg. I want to talk about the time when you had the BK diamond sales. Like, now listen, I'm gonna tell you the significance this is to me because this is when I was in 6th grade. First time I ever played on an AAU team. My AAU coach, Larry Butler, come get me with the Illinois Warriors. Never got a free pair of shoes, never got anything. This is like in the very beginning. Illinois Warriors, we was a big deal in Chicago, our big program. Yeah. And so this was in the beginning. We had to do phases. The first deal we ever got was with British Knights, and we got the BK diamond sale. I remember the commercial with you being on the table doing you like Frankenstein. They put you together because your game was so crazy. It was like, and then they electrocute you and you come like, how was that for you to be from the Detroit, from the hood, and then you were all-star, now you got a shoe company about to give you your own shoe?
So it was crazy because my whole life I grew up wearing Nike.
Right.
You know? You know what I'm saying? And all through college and everything, you know, that. And when you reflect back on it now, Q, that's how they set us up. You know what I'm saying? To love and
whatever
brand
it is,
what they do.
Whatever it is.
So I had deals on the table, you know what I'm saying, with Nike. I've never really been an Adidas, you know what I'm saying, guy in my life. But when they came to the table, and I was just telling somebody that, I said, what y'all don't understand is, I could have signed, you know what I'm saying, with Nike, and I don't know if they even would have gave me my own shoe.
Right.
Right? I would have had a shoe, but it might not have been my shoe.
Right.
But the thing they didn't understand was Nike is not going to pull up to the hood, Q, with an 18-wheeler and unload it for these kids over here.
Mm-hmm.
And that's what BK, that was the difference. It wasn't even about the money. The difference was I can get on the phone when it's cold outside and be like, hey, my high school, everybody in my neighborhood, I need y'all to bring a truck, and we're going to give away backpacks, coats, and gym shoes. Word. And they like, Derrick, what's the day you want to do it, the time, and where at, and we there. So everybody in my neighborhood, that BK to the fullest. It wasn't Brooklyn. You know what I'm
Yeah,
saying?
I feel nah, I
Yeah,
feel you.
yeah, man.
Yeah.
So that was the difference, you know what I'm saying, for me. Again, giving back to my neighborhood, giving back to my community. And those kids still to this day, you know, I'll be on the gram sometime, man. The kid will pop on there like, yo, man, I remember when you brought us diamond sales, man, and jackets and all that stuff, bro. I never forgot that.
Straight up.
Mm.
That mean BK was definitely ahead of the curve. But
Oh
now
yeah,
now everybody, Reebok,
Yeah,
you'll
now
see any of them
yeah,
Jordan,
companies. I
everybody
seen
doing it.
everybody
Yeah.
pull up
yeah,
to the
and they
thing.
was
And I remember I went to one of D Wade camps back when he was with Converse. He had a camp at
yeah,
the crib in Chicago.
yeah,
And it was at his it was not his old high school, it was at Eisenhower High School. But
uh-huh.
he went in one day, he showed me around. I said, man, they got all these Converse in here like these. Like, no, we just about to give them to everybody. I was like, yo, that's
Yeah,
love, brother. They
right.
just any size, a million pair, any size, and he was just throwing them out to anybody that
Uh,
needed them. I was like, that's dope.
that's what it is, man. Again, using your platform, man, to enrich the lives of other people, bro. That's what we're here for. Yeah, that's what's up.
I was there in Detroit during the time when they had the Flint water crisis. I was working for the
Yeah,
Pistons, and a lot of
yes,
people mobilized and did
yeah,
things. I know I read that you were driving 65 miles a day
yeah.
transporting water back and forth with you and your own boys, and y'all was getting trucks and stuff.
Me and she going Friday. She was just with me this morning at food pantry out in River Rouge.
And
He
I
came.
remember he was bringing
Yeah,
trucks, for the
trust.
12 wheelers from North
Yeah,
Carolina. I remember that. I talked to him when
yeah,
he was
man.
doing that at that time.
Yeah.
So just talk to me about how heavily you involved with the community and the youth. You got the
Well,
DC elite team,
well, it's just
and
it's just what you said early, Q. You know, we raised that way. It's in our DNA of who we are. You know, about helping people. You know what I'm saying? It's not monetary. You know, all the time, man. And I've been doing that my whole life. I mean, since I was a kid, growing up. My uncle instilling that, my grandmother instilling that in us always, give back, help people. So it started out really in my neighborhood, rebuilding the playground that I grew up playing on and doing tournaments and clinics like that for all the kids, in the neighborhood and building strip centers, putting everybody to work that's in my neighborhood,
word.
jobs and opportunities like that. Then we do All Star Give Back. All Star Give Back, we've been doing for the past 21 years. And All Star Give Back is over the holidays, Thanksgiving and Christmas, we donate food to families in need. So we started off
I've
in my
seen,
neighborhood giving away like 200 turkeys, man.
yeah, I seen on your
Now we're up
Instagram.
to over 10,000. You know what I'm
Yeah,
saying? Big Sean, GP comes every year. Gary Payton
yeah,
comes.
OG.
Yeah,
He
yeah, he
told me
comes
when he was
every
about to
year.
come. We was working together. He told me
Yeah,
when he was leaving
great
Atlanta to
dude,
go
man.
there.
Yeah. Yeah, Mike Epps. I mean, everybody, DL Hughley, Nas, everybody always come, and participate, man. And it's just us, If
Right.
Yeah.
not us, then who, bro? So we had to
Real
take the time
talk.
out to help our people, no matter what. So when that whole crisis happened in Flint, we had 18 wheelers, a water to take up there. But see, again, here go the politics. You know, we got water to bring, to the city of Flint to help people up there. I mean, Mateen Cleves, Mo Peterson,
Yep.
all them cats from Flint. So I'm on the
Yeah.
phone
Flintstones.
with them. Yo,
I got family in Lansing. So
okay,
yeah, I
so
know
you
that's right
already know,
there. Yeah.
and no, we need you to take it over here to this water station. But I'm like, no, we can't take it to the water station because half our people don't have transportation.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So me and she, I'm like, okay, Mateen, where the projects at? We going to the hood. So we whip up in the hood, man, unload, 30
I
something
remember seeing the videos
water.
and all
Yeah,
of
man.
that. Yeah.
Yeah, bro. But again, it's just taking time out, man, using our platform to enrich the lives of other people, man, because them people are mentally drained up there, bro. You know what I'm
For
saying? Like you
real.
hand somebody something, like they shocked because they like, damn, that's Derrick Coleman,
Yeah.
But after they get that water, they're like, thank you. You know what I'm
Word.
saying?
Yeah.
Like, I'm like, yo, y'all all right, man? You know what's go in the house, man, turn the water on, it's just all rust, you know what I'm saying? Everything, bro. It's messed up there still to this day. They haven't fixed the
Right.
problem. And I was just with Rashid this morning. He's like, yo, we going back up to Flint Friday. I said, I'm with you, bro. Let's go do what we do.
From the time I seen you, you ain't never been like nobody was never running up on you the wrong way or nothing like that. And you see some players that like I demand respect on this court. I
Yeah.
might not be the best player, or I might not be this, but you gonna respect me. You know what I'm saying, on court. And ever since I seen you play, you always demanded that. Like,
My
who gave
granny,
you that?
man, my granny is the toughest man and woman I ever known in my lifetime, bro. Real
Yeah.
talk, you know. And y'all got to think, like I said, growing up in Alabama, bro, I was going through segregation in the 70s. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Well, they were locking us, you know what I'm saying, in the libraries, like last day of school and all that stuff. Used to chase us home. Like I said, I grew up playing Little League football and baseball, man. We used to go to this place called Alabama Village, man. Every night, the motherfuckers would chase us home, singing their dogs on us, all that shit, bro. Every
Yeah.
night. So my grandmother, man, my heart, my backbone taught me everything, you know, never to take no shit, you know, from nobody, man. You know, to this day, you know. So she was it, toughest man or woman I ever seen in my life, bro.
Yeah.
You know, she instilled that, you know, in us as kids.
With that
Yeah.
being said, and you saying what you just went through, how do you feel what's going on with the social climate in the country and around the world today? Like, what's your take on things?
It's just it's sad. You know, I told some people that I actually posted on my Instagram. I said, man, what y'all don't understand, we still crying from Emmett Till. You know, and again, it's systematic racism, and nothing's going to change until you change the system. You know, and they're never going to change the system. You know, we're never going to be accepted as a people, and we have to realize that.
Yeah,
You
we
know,
gotta
so
vote laws out.
yeah,
We
yeah.
gotta
So
just
we
do
have
it
to
the right way.
control the narrative. You know what I'm saying? When I'm sitting there and I'm watching that, and again, we've all had experience like that in our lifetime. We've seen that, you know.
Mm-hmm.
But I know Derrick. Derrick is not gonna sit there, me and you together, and the cop arrest you, and he got his knee on your neck, and you think I'm gonna sit there, stand there, and watch that? No.
Yeah.
Me
Right.
and you going to jail today, or me and you gonna die today, bro. But I'm
Straight
not gonna
up.
let that happen. But I'm so conscious of that now, man. It's like I don't even let nobody ride with me. I mean, I know it's the COVID and everything right now because
Yeah.
I don't want you riding with me and something happens, bro. You still got the phone video on it, and somebody out here choking me out. You know
Man,
what I'm saying?
hey, OG, I do not play that phone shit. You pull your
Yeah,
phone out and play with me, boy.
man.
I do not play that
Yeah,
phone
you
shit.
don't
Nah.
play that.
Cause I never like who does that when
Thank
somebody in
you.
danger, they'll have a motherfucker out there
Thank
drowning, a kid or
you.
whatever, and they
Right.
How you
want to
getting the
hold their
tape? How you
phone
got
instead of
footage of
going
it?
to save the
Come
kid or
on,
saving the
man.
person. I
Yeah.
don't understand that. And I guess I'm from the old school that I just ain't
I
gonna never get that
I
shit.
just saw the other day they had you seen Shaq got out here in Florida. He got out on the side of the road where it was a family and some kids, and you know they was somehow in
They
duress
got
or
in the
whatever,
crash. They got in the crash. I
crash
seen
or
that.
whatever. And he you see him, he ain't doing no like you see
Yeah,
people.
man.
He out
Pulled
there
over help.
himself, and then you see from the police when they pull up, you see the dash camera, him standing there telling
Right.
them to go look out for them. I
Yeah,
just pulled up to like that's what you supposed to do, man. Do
exactly,
act
man.
like don't sit back here with a camera. What you recording
Yeah.
for?
And when
Yeah.
do we become so passive as a people?
Yeah.
You know? Like I said, I couldn't stand there and watch that. And I'm sitting there, people are videoing it. I'm like, okay, it's hot, whatever in Minnesota. I know somebody got a bottle of water or something. Man, hit him in the head with a bottle just to get him up off on some.
Like
Throw something
distract them,
at
throw
him, bro.
something that'll make them
Do
get
Hell
mad and come
something.
yeah.
at you.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah. Do something, man. Don't just stand there with that phone, man. The guy's dying, man. The guy urinating on himself, man. And ain't nobody even helping him, man. Calling for his mother, bro. Come on. You know, so I've been tired, man. I've been fed up with it. You know what I'm saying? It's just like, okay, guys, what are the solutions? You
yeah,
know, what is it that we have to do, man? You know?
Looking at the league when you came in and looking at the league now with the money and just like how different it, how it evolved. You see how this game then turned into what it was when you came in to now. Like how proud of this the NBA and you know
They
this
want it,
game has
they want it,
evolved.
you know, like the game has changed so much because they taken the physicalness out of the game of basketball. You know, can't touch nobody no more, you know what I'm saying? And everything now is a jump shot. Even my kids now with DC Elite, man, I go in the gym, you know, with them, man. Everybody
tell
just
me this. Tell me
jacking
this. I
up
want to
threes.
hear it.
They jacking up threes, man. I just be sitting there laughing. I was like, look here, man, let me explain something to y'all. I got a picture in my phone of Drazen at the 3-point contest, right? He's shooting Dale is sitting down, and Steph got to be about 4 or 5 years old, sitting on his knee. You know, and I'm showing them this picture. Like, y'all only seeing the finished product. Y'all understand how much work this kid has put into this gym to get in that position that he's in.
How much he saw. You
Yeah.
know what I'm saying? You
Yeah.
just can't get a jump shot overnight. You got to work on that motherfucker.
Got to work. Yeah. Y'all don't want to put the work in. So the league has just changed, man, because they taking the physicalness out of the game. And now everybody is a stretch for. You know,
that's what I wanted to ask you. How do you look at that when you was like, you know, it was hard on you, and you one of the originators of this.
I'm the original stretch four. You know what I'm saying?
Do you look at it like you wish you could have played in an era like this where?
Hey man, I played.
I mean, you'd have been too physical for this.
I played in the best era of sports there are, man.
I agree.
I played the best era, bro. Because think about this. Not only the talent level across the board, I grew up in hip hop.
Yeah.
I'm in Jersey, right across the bridge from New York City. You know what I'm saying? I grew up with all them guys, man. When there wasn't no camera phones and none of that stuff. Man.
Yeah.
Imagine us at that time with camera phones. We probably been kicked out of school, everything, you know. So
I'm glad I just missed the social media era.
Yeah, I love it, man. I love the era that I grew up in, you know. And again, when I'm watching basketball, they was, you know, it's crazy when you rebound again as bigs. If I don't have the rebound, I'm running to get a layup or a dunk. My other big, he the trail guy. Now when I'm watching it, all my bigs is running to the wing. Jump shot.
Yeah, nobody run down the middle.
Nobody run down the middle.
Nobody run to the blocks or nothing.
None of that. I'm sitting there like, man, that ain't basketball, man.
I got taught to run straight to the goal, turn around and seal, and slowly work my way back out.
Layup.
I'm going for the layup first. Yeah, I understand that.
Layup. Everybody running to the wings.
So do any of your players ever give you a hard time? Like, you shot jumpers, you was a big with skills.
Yeah, but you wasn't me.
Oh, okay. There you go. It's a difference here.
DC, you ain't a legend now. You ain't a legend yet. You got to get there.
Again, Q, I never just settled for the jumper.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Why if I got somebody half my size on me, why would I pull up and shoot a jump shot? I'm going to take you down here to this paint.
Now you's a punisher.
I'm going to punish you. Because when I punish you, what's going to happen? Hey, we got to go double team him.
Yeah.
If you're going to come and double team me, I'm going to find one of my teammates. You know what I'm saying? That's basketball, man. Yeah. So, no, I don't just settle, man, you know. And I sit there and I watch that and everything, you know. And again, you are not Golden State, period.
Yeah.
Everybody cannot be Golden State.
And K Slay, my man, anyway, though. Because every night he got a guard. He got the hardest matchup to guard, man. He's still thumping.
Hey, so this one of the questions I like to ask OG. Like, you know what I'm saying? You from the hood in Detroit, went to Syracuse, went to school for 4 years. When you get drafted, you go number one. You balling. What you did to treat yourself? You know, when we got that first money, we did you do something or you ain't do? Oh, what you did?
Bought my mother a house.
Okay.
You know, again, when for me, I had a guy like Dave being in my life, so it was my mentor, and I still drove my college truck. I think for like 3 years, my first 3 years of the NBA.
Oh yeah, you was an excellent one.
I always looked at it like this, Q. I got it now. You know what I'm saying? Like, I know I can go get it, so that's half the fun.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So I'm just like, okay, buy my mom's a house, and I never been a huge, like jewelry guy, stuff like that. You know what I'm saying? So I had a couple nice things, but my first 3 years, bro, I drove my car that I had from college. I wasn't, tripping.
Yeah, but
wow.
David Bing, to have somebody like that as a mentor to you is like so big and so important to your life and your career. Like, that's why when I talk to the younger guys, I try to drop as many jewels as possible. Like, get this knowledge. You know what I'm saying? I be trying to give it to my kids, but even everybody else. Me and Q got a guy. We did a little session for the NBA where we did this this thing where guys wanted to listen about how we started our podcast and stuff like that, and other NBA guys. And one of the guys, he's from the D League, started his own podcast.
He got one.
Man, it's just he got a podcast.
That's
and
what's up.
man,
he just reached out to us the other
yeah,
day. We gave him
he'll
our
text
information.
me and Q. It just feels good to just have a guy like that.
Yeah.
We just reach out and we just try to give the knowledge or so forth. Because it's out there, and you know, with us growing up in the hood, you get taught, don't ask nobody for shit.
Yes.
But you know, when you got people out here, brothers out here that know what you've been through, know what you're going through, man, it's good to ask these other players how to do it. Because you remember the era we grew up in, I couldn't ask you how you work out and what you doing. Yeah, I'll meet you in the gym and we can hoop, but I ain't finna work out with you.
Yeah.
These cats working out together and getting that knowledge and getting more knowledge. Like Jordan then wasn't telling you everything.
No.
His name is Kyle. His name is Kyle Caslin, and he started the Trials Make Champions podcast. He's a G League kid, and he got a lot of people on this belt already, so he's getting it cracking.
We got to jump on this podcast and support him. You know,
yeah, most definitely. Yeah, most definitely.
But that's it, man. You know, with Dave, it gave me a lot of insight, but you still understand, fam, with us growing up and not having, once we get it, you know what I'm saying? Like, we gonna spread the love.
Straight up.
That's who we are. We gonna spread the love, man. So, you know,
so
I've jerked some
to buy mama a house.
Yeah, you know, I'm gonna get a house, you know what I'm saying? And even my house that I grew up in, I remodeled my house in my neighborhood. Like I stayed in my hood probably about 10 years before I actually moved. You know, I remodeled the house that I grew up in. So you can ride down my block. I'm sitting out there on the porch. You know, my cousin, them chilling. I might have a bottle of Chris out there with me. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Something hot, but I'm hugging the block. You know?
Yeah, right. That's love.
I never forget when what's the chick? Was it Willow Bay or whatever from NBA Inside Stuff? She came and did a story.
I seen that. Yeah.
Remodeling the house in my name. It's so crazy.
I seen that.
Them little kids that was in the street I was messing with, man, they grown and got their own kids now. You know what I'm saying? So they like that. So I had all the video games and stuff like that in my basement. So all the kids would come on my house and play video games and hang out, man, you know. But for me, it just always letting people know that, man, hey, I ain't no different from you. You can achieve everything what I achieve. You know, you just gotta have some discipline. You gotta have some good people around you, man. You know, and you just gotta stay motivated, you know, with it.
That was one of the things, the reason, like they was wondering why I always went back to East St. Louis, which this is one of the murder capitals like Detroit. Go back to East St. Louis. It was like when I came up, you couldn't see nobody like me. You couldn't see nobody who made it. I want to ride my Rolls Royce, not to be stunting or try to show off in front of nobody in the hood. I want these kids to see somebody from here that everybody, your whole family know accomplished something, and you can do the same thing. You know what I'm saying?
About that. Yeah, you whip up the block. I got
even though
yours in the driveway. Yeah, what's up?
Even though he hadn't seen it from his uncle, Jason Tatum came on this show saying when he used to bring the big Rafe up to the pro-am in the summer league, everybody be in there like, man, Big Black got the Rolls Royce outside, like, you know what I'm saying? Jason Tatum to this day was like, man, when I get one, I gotta get one of them, and like, you know what I'm saying? So that was some motivation.
It's motivation, man, and our kids need to see that, man. You know what I'm saying? Because of everything, you know, that they going through, man, they need to see that. Like, nah, man, you can get it too. You know, so people don't even know that. Think about this, right? With Dave, I've never had an agent in my life.
Oh.
Your whole career, you ain't never had an agent?
I ain't never had.
That's a bar.
That's crazy.
I've never had an agent, man. I had a lawyer.
Wow.
Lawyer had.
Gotta have a lawyer.
Yeah, you gotta have.
So I was trying to put guys up on game back then.
Yeah, back then. Yeah, controlling your situation.
Like, when I was getting ready to get drafted, he was like, Derrick. So, you know, everybody, agents, the interviewing process, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So I'm sitting there with him. He like, I mean, what you need an agent for? You know, because I mean, again, it's the norm, right?
Yeah, that's what everybody do.
Like, he's like, you're going number 1 or number 2 in the draft. You don't need no agent. He's like, you just hire a lawyer, Derrick, and let him negotiate the contract. So I hired a lawyer, negotiate the contract, pay him what I needed to pay him,
And kept
So-
all your money.
Kept it. And you know that, lawyer fees is even negotiable. You know what I'm saying? So I was trying to give all the cats then, like, yo, man, you don't need no agent, man. You know what I'm saying? You going top 5 in the draft, what you need an agent for? How are you a lawyer, man? You know? Again, just trying to share the knowledge and the information. You know what I'm saying? And guys still couldn't like really comprehend it because it's just been embedded in us, for so long, man. Yeah.
That was kind of like when we got drafted. We got our agent. When we got our agent, we both signed with the same guy, Jeff Wexler, and he didn't charge us on our first deal because at that point it was already slotted. It was nothing really to really negotiate. What we were gonna get, you get picked based on what you did prior to signing with him. So he told us, he was like, I know a lot of your peers are gonna be charged from 4% to whatever by that agent. He was like, I'm not gonna do that. He was like, the only money that I'll make off y'all is any endorsements I bring y'all. Other than that, I won't make money until y'all sign y'all new deal. I won't charge y'all for y'all. Now he since had to change some things up because you know how people be living and doing all this crazy. He had to take care of himself. But like for the whole, I don't know how long, that was not until like very recently that happened. Right? Yeah. So it was like, I was telling people like, man, I like to this day, he been our agent the whole time, still like a big bro to us to this point. Yeah. And really showed us a lot in the game that he didn't have to do. Because like you said, things are such the norm that we walk in the door. Whatever he would have told us we was going to do. We was just, we didn't know no better. It was just a blessing. It was just a blessing that he was a good dude and a good person. And he came in and he was like, as he was bringing us along, he was showing us the game, showing us like, look at this. Don't do this like this. Don't like. And one of the biggest things he told, because I'm from the hood. I'll never forget my second. It was my rookie year. It was my rookie year in the NBA, and I had Alvin Gentry as my coach. And D-Miles, you remember this? I thought that I was supposed to be playing. I was busting ass in practice, and I thought I was supposed to be playing. I'm getting straight DNPs. This has never happened to me in my life. I'm living. I don't know how to be. I don't know how to be. And I don't got no big bro on the team to touch me and tell me, hey, don't. Nah, I'm in this thing, a ball of fire, letting everybody. I'll never forget Jeff telling me, he was like, listen, I understand. You upset. You think that you aren't getting what you deserve. He was like, but listen to what I'm about to tell you and listen to me carefully. He was like, when you put yourself in the position that they think that you're this asshole and you're this bad guy, I promise you, it's so much harder to change their opinion of you than to just do the right thing from the beginning. He was like, I don't care how mad you get and you can't do certain shit. You can't say certain shit to your coach. You got to tuck ass and be cool. You can't do what you doing. He was like, the path you taking, I can't help you from. He was like, if you don't listen to me, I can't do nothing for you. He was like, I'm telling you, once you get that label on you in this NBA, it's hard to get it off.
Right? Yeah.
And he changed my career with that because I was D-Miles know I was wilding, but I was every time you turn around trying to curse somebody out or yell at somebody or fight, like
I tell chill out, bro. Chill out, fam.
It was easy for him to tell me that DC. He was playing. He was the number 3 pick. He was the guy. And I'm like, don't talk to me, bro. I'm trying to get in the game, bro. I gotta fight for everything I get.
You ain't feeling me, bro. Chill out. No, you chill out.
I know. Hey, DC, I did feel because that rookie year, one game, he didn't play me. I went in that bitch crying the next right after the game. I'm in that bitch crying. I ain't never been dressed and healthy and then never played. So I felt him. I ain't played that. I ain't give it 2-3 games. After that one game, I went right in there. Like, hey, hold up, what's going on?
DC, how I was looking at him like.
Yeah. Nah, you should have got him, Q. Chill out, man.
I've been pissed he hit me with that.
Oh, man. This was everything, bro. Like, we got so much love and respect for you, OG. Been looking up to you for a long time.
Mutual, man. Like I said, man, we share a common bond through the game of basketball, man, and people will never understand that with us, man. It's just love, you know.
Never understand. We don't never have to talk, but when we see each other, it's love.
Thank you. Yeah, exactly. I ain't gonna talk to y'all the rest of the year, but I bump into
You know it right where we left off at.
Yeah, right.
Yes, sir. OG, DC,
One
Derrick
love, man.
Coleman.
Y'all stay safe, man. Appreciate you guys.
Detroit legend, world
Yes,
legend,
sir.
man.
Right,
Appreciate
man.
you,
You
bro.
know, 4-4 for life, baby.
4-4 for life.